Hi and welcome. Adobe has just launched an update to Adobe Lightroom and to Camera Raw. Now this is version 11.4 and it was launched in June 2022. Now it contains some great new features that we've all wanted. Now the new stuff is centered around the masking tools and presets. So let's have a look at them first. Okay, there has been a really tremendous improvement to the masking function. Now in the previous release, it was a right pain inverting complex masks. Now let's use this image as an example. So if I wanted to say select the sky, okay, well I can go into my masking panel and I can click select sky and the AI will do a pretty remarkable job of selecting that sky. But it has missed a couple of bits here and this bit here. So what we could do in the old version is go to subtract from selection, and then we could use a brush and we could just go along and say, well, we'll subtract that bit and we'll subtract that bit there. Right, okay, job done. But now I'd like the building to be selected. So what I've got here now, I've got my brush, which is those two little bits there, and I've got the sky, which is everything. Now if I wanted to invert that, I couldn't do it because there is no function in the old version of Lightroom to actually invert the complete mask. What I've got to do is invert the brush and invert the sky and then work out where the two intersect, and it gets really complicated. Not something I really want to do. So in the new version we've got some new menu items. So if I go up to the mask and hit the three little dots here, I've got invert mask 1 and duplicate and invert mask. Now these two are brilliant because normally it saves you a lot of work. So what I can do, I can invert mask 1, which gives me basically everything of the building, and then let's invert that back. So I want to go back now to sky, but what I normally want is now a mask that will let me change the foreground or the building. Okay, so now I can go to three little buttons, duplicate and invert mask, so it does it at the same time for me. So now I've got two masks. I've got my mask 1 inverted and my mask 1. Now those don't really tell me an awful lot, so what I'll do is we'll double click that and we'll rename it to sky, just so it makes a bit of sense. And that one, we'll change that to building. Okay, so now in the blink of an eye we've got a mask for the building and we've got a mask for the sky, all because we can now use these two new menus, the invert, or we can duplicate and invert the mask. I think that's really cool. So now we can go to making some adjustments. So I can go into the building one and then I can say, well, let's put the exposure up a little bit, take the shadows up a little bit just to lighten it all up. Yeah, I like that. And then we can go to the sky and we can darken the sky down a little bit. And probably, yeah, and so there we have it. We've got a much more balance because we've been able to use these two masks. So we've masked out the building and we've masked out the sky, and we can adjust them totally separately now, and I think that is pretty brilliant. Another improvement is to transfer the AI mask. This wasn't possible in the older version of Lightroom. So if I created this AI mask here, which I have, and I wanted to copy and paste those settings into another image, say, that had got a sky in it, it wouldn't select this sky. The AI function wouldn't happen. Well, now it does, and this is pretty amazing. So now I've got these two selected in this image, and I can go to settings and I can go to copy settings. I've got to make sure that the masking settings are ticked so it copies everything and the masking settings, and I go for copy. Now if I go to another image that's got a sky in it but it's not the same shape, and I paste my settings, so I can go to settings and paste settings, you'll get this little dialogue telling you now that the AI has done the job for you. So now we've got both masks on here, and it's done a really good selection of the foreground and a really good selection of the sky. And you can synchronize this as well. If you've got loads of images, you can put them all together. So if I click on this image here, and then I can go to settings and paste settings, again the AI is coming to play. Sometimes it will take a bit, but here we go. Now we've got the darkened sky. So basically we've got the darkened sky, we've got the lightened building, and we've got the darkened sky. If we just go and click these little visibility eyes, and I think that is phenomenal. Well, that's it for the improvements to the masking function in the June 2022 update of Lightroom. Tune into the next video where we'll look at the change to presets that we've all been waiting for. I'll see you there. Bye for now.